First, I want to thank my mother who gave birth and give life to me, to my wife, Dakshila, and to all mothers here in Edmonton. Happy Mother's Day! Amen. Ang sabi po ng isang quotation from Cardinal Mermelloyd, ito pong sabi, "A mother is she who can take the place of all others, but whose place no one can take." Ang isang ina ay pwede niya gampanan ang lahat ng bagay, responsibilidad, but walang sinuman ang makakapalit sa kanya. Amen? Amen po, mga mother. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1 to 3, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth." How to have harmony in the home? Paano magkakaroon ng magandang relasyon ang isang tahanan? First, the husband is to love his wife. Yun po sinasabi sa Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, "Just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." And then, when it comes to wife, the wife is to submit the husband. Ang sabi po ng Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22, "Submit your husbands as to the Lord." And then to the children to obey his parents. Ang sabi po sa chapter 6, verse 1, "Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." So this is the biblical principle of harmony and responsibility. Whatever role in the family that we have, it compensates to each other. No role is lesser, but each one helps to have a meaningful and successful family. Para masabi po natin merong harmony at maganda ang takbo, we need to do our role, our responsibility in the family. The father is to love his wife, and the wife is to submit to his husband, to her husband, and the children is to obey their parents. So if we will do our responsibility, we will do our role in the family, then there will be peace and harmony within the family. Love and respect. Pag-ibig at respeto. First, honor our mother. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, "Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you." Since it is Mother's Day, so let us focus on the mother. Meron pong command na binibigay sa atin dito. We need to honor our mother. So we will be focusing our message regarding our role as sons and daughters to our mother, and as husbands to our wives. So yun po yung nais natin tingnan. Firstly, the role of the children. Dalawang bagay lang po yung pangunahin natin pag-uusapan, the role of the children and the role of the father or the husband. The role of the children is to obey them, to obey their parents, and particularly we're speaking of the mother, to obey their mother. Children, obey your parents in the Lord. Chapter 6, verse 1. To honor our mother is simply to obey them. This is the best expression of our love, our care, and respect to them. If we really love them, obey their instructions. Simple lang. Ano ba yung pangunahing role ko bilang isang anak? Ang sabi po dito ay, obey your parents. Obey them. why do we need to obey them? Bakit kinakailangan sundin ko ang aking nanay, ang aking parents? First, it is pleasing to the Lord. Colossians chapter 3, verse 20, it says, "Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord." So, firstly, why do we need to obey them? It pleases the Lord. It pleases the Lord. Firstly, it is right. Sabi po ng chapter 1, verse 3, it is right. We do not obey our parents because they are believers or they are following the Lord or having a good testimony in the Lord. But it is the right thing that we need to do. So hindi natin iibigin ng ating nanay o ating parents dahil sa mabait sila sa atin. But this is the right thing to do. Ito ang tama na dapat nating gawain. So before we make excuses or exemption, let us obey first. Kinakailangan muna tayong sumunod. And we do not obey them because of fear, but because of love and respect. Bakit ko ibigin ng aking nanay? Dahil takot ba ako sa kanya? Dahil meron siyang pamalo? Bakit ko ibigin ng aking nanay? Dahil ba takot ako sa kanya? Dahil baka pagalitan ako? Hindi po. Because of our love and our respect to them. Secondly, it pleases the Lord. So why do we need to obey them? Simply, this is the right thing to do. Secondly, it pleases the Lord. Magbibigay ng kaluwalhatian sa Diyos kapag susundin natin ang ating mga magulang. As a believer of Christ, it is our responsibility to obey our parents. By doing this, we give them our good testimony. Matutuwa ang Diyos sa buhay natin. Ako bilang isang anak ng Diyos, ikaw bilang isang anak ng Diyos, tayo bilang isang may pananampalataya at pagtitiwala sa ating Panginoon, sinasabi natin Kristiyano tayo, we obey our parents because we love them and we respect them. By doing this, by loving them and respecting them, it gives testimony, good testimony to them, and it pleases the Lord. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8 to 9, it says, "Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching." Verse 9, "They will be a garland to your head, and a chain to adorn your neck." So to obey our mother is to give them honor. It gives us honor and success. People will honor you. People will respect you if you obey your parents. Yung batang yan, nagtagumpay. Yung batang yan, naging maayos ang buhay. Kasi masunuri sa magulang yan eh. Yun yung madalas na narinig natin sa mga matatanda. Sumunod ka sa magulang mo, pagpapalain ka ng Diyos. Yun palagi narinig natin. So, and then Proverbs chapter 29, verse 15, "The rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother." Children, hear the correction. Hear the rebuke of our parents or our mother. Sometimes we are irritated. Sometimes we are annoyed with the sermon or with the advice that our parents is giving us. Paulit-ulit na lang, nakakasawa na, narinig na namin yan, dati na rin, sinasabi na naman yan. Yun palagi sinasabi natin. Pero ang sabi dito ng talata, the rod of correction imparts wisdom. But a child left to himself disgraces his mother. So hindi mga nakikinig sa kanyang mga magulang, particular sa kanyang nanay na maingay, na salita ng salita, ang sabi po dito ay kahihiyan sa kanya. Kahihiyan ito doon sa tao na hindi gumagalang at sumusunod sa kanyang magulang. Ang sabi po ng Bible Knowledge Commentary, a child who is not disciplined and is left to himself, allowed to do as he pleases and have whatever he wants, will become an unruly person. He will disgrace or bring shame to his mother. Bible Knowledge Commentary. Ang isang bata na hindi disiplinado Ang isang bata na ginawa niya na lang yung kanyang gustong gawain, kung ano yung kanyang maisipang gawain, ang sabi po rito ay hindi magiging matuwid na tao. At magiging kahiyan ito, magiging kahiyan ito sa kanyang nanay. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 17. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns obedience to a mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. Sabi ko na ano kaya ibig sabihin ng talatang ito? So, ang tao na hinahamak ang kanyang tatay o ang kanyang magulang, and then pinapahiya, hindi binibigyang galang ang kanyang nanay sa pagsunod sa kanyang mga magulang, sabi dito, ay tutukain ng mga raven, ng mga ibon, ang kanyang mata, and then kakainin ng vulture. So nakakatakot pala ang hindi sumusunod sa magulang. Disobedience leads to disaster. A person who ridiculed his parents will die and no one will bury him. No one will take care of you. Ang tao na hinahamak, ang tao na matigas ang ulo, ang tao na hindi sumusunod sa kanyang magulang, ang sabi, kakainin ng vulture, walang maglilibing sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, pababayaan siya. So, bakit kinakailangan nating sumunod sa ating Panginoon? First, it is pleasing to the Lord. Why do we need to obey them? It is pleasing to the Lord. And then secondly, it brings a blessing. It brings blessing. Chapter 6 verse 3, that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. Ang sabi po dito ay upang maging maganda para sa iyo at ma-enjoy mo. Ma-enjoy mo yung buhay dito sa mundo. So, we are not speaking of quantity of life or years of life, but also quality of life. It does not mean that if you die young, you are disobedient child. Hindi yung ang equal nun, hindi ng parallel nun. But it means when we are obeying our parents, when we are respecting our mother, ang sabi po dito, that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. Yung long life po doon ay it does not only sa ating mahabang buhay, but also with good life, with prosperous life. So it means you will have a quality of life wherever God has sent you. It is a quality of life that He will give you. Obedience to parents brings prosperity. Amply supplied. Ang tao na sumusunod sa kalooban ng Diyos ay pinagpapala ng ating Panginoon. There was a sad story in the Bible. A servant of God who managed the spiritual affairs of the people or the Israelites, but failed to manage his own family. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 22-25. Now Eli was very old, heard about everything his sons were doing to all Israel, and how they slept with the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So he said to them, "Why do you do such things? I hear from all the people about these wicked deeds of yours. No, my sons, it is not a good report that I hear spreading among the Lord's people. If a man sins against another, God may mediate for him. But if a man sins against the Lord, who will intercede for him? His sons, however, take note, his sons, however, did not listen to their father's rebuke, for it was the Lord's will to put them to death." A servant of God, a person who was serving the Lord faithfully, managing the spiritual affair of the Israelites, and yet failed to manage his family well. The children of Eli did not listen to the correction, to the rebuke of their father. Consequently, they died at young age. Children, mga anak, listen to the instructions of your parents or your mother. Do not be annoyed or irritated with their redundant speeches. Do not shame them when they do not understand what you are saying, or they are asking how to operate our gadgets, or asking something sa ating social network ngayon. At tanungin tayo kung saan mga ginagawa natin. And then, wag natin pahiyain sila, wag natin pagtawanan sila. And sometimes kapag yung parents natin nagsalita ng English, pagtatawanan natin kasi hindi tama yon. Ang blessing sa atin na ito, nakarating tayo sa mas mataas na pinag-aralan. What if ang ating parents ay hindi umabot sa ganung pinag-aralan? So, do not humiliate them, but be thankful, be grateful, because we have mother who supported us, who supports us up to the end. At talagang hindi tayo iwanan, hindi tayo pababayaan. Ang sabi po ni Warren Wiersbe, sin always robs us. Obedience always enriches us. Ang katigasan ng ulo, ang kawalang galang, ang kasalanan ay nanakaw sa atin para hindi maging maulad ang buhay natin. But obedience always enriches us. Love and respect. We have discussed already about the role of the children, and now the role of the father. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 and verse 28. Verse 25, listen, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And then in verse 28, in this way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Mga asawang lalaki, mahalin ninyo, ibigin ninyo ang inyong asawa. Kung paanong inibig ni Kristo ang iglesia, ganun din uri ang pag-ibig na ibigay mo sa iyong asawa. Gayon din naman, ang asawa ay dapat ibigin niya ang kanyang asawang babae gaya ng kanyang katawan. Sabi po dito ay, siya na umiibig sa kanyang asawang babae ay umiibig sa kanyang sarili. Firstly, love your wife as Christ loved the church. It means sacrificial. To love our wife as Christ loves the church, it means it is sacrificial love. How have Christ shown His love for the church? Pinag-usapan po natin na ang pag-ibig ng Panginoong Yesus sa kanyang church ay same ang gawin natin pag-ibig sa ating mga asawa. Paano pinakita ni Christ ang kanyang pag-ibig sa church? Ephesians chapter 5, verse 2. Just as Christ loved us and gave Himself up for us as a fragrant offerings and sacrifice to God. Ang model, ang example na binigay sa atin, how Christ shown His love to us, He gave Himself for us as a fragrant offering and sacrificed to God. Christ died for us. Christ died for the whole world. Christ died for the church. So, same as true. Ibigin daw po natin ang ating asawa kung paanong ibinigay ni Christ ang kanyang buhay sa kanyang asawa, sa church, ganun din uri ng pag-ibig ang dapat ibigay ng asawang lalaki sa kanyang asawang babae. Listen, no wife will not submit to her husband if she knows that her husband is willing to die for her. Meron kayang asawang babae na hindi magsasubmit sa kanyang asawa kung malalaman niya na ang kanyang asawang lalaki ay, wow, mamatay ito para sa akin. Ganun pagmamahal sa akin ng aking asawa. So, sacrificial love. Sa Tagalog ko po isinulat ito. Kung mahal mo asawa mo, malatuwa dito mga asawa, hindi ka muna bibili ng bagong sapatos kasi bibili ka muna ng bag para sa asawa mo. Amen. Hindi ka muna mag-overtime para makauwi ka ng maaga. Yan. Hindi ka muna mag-merienda kasi bibili ka ng bulaklak para sa wife mo. Ewan ko lang, kung hindi ka i-respect ng wife mo, definitely, bukas na umaga, may tapsilog ka pa. Paggising mo sa umaga, kapag nakita ng wife mo kung gaano mo siya kamahal. So you are willing to sacrifice, to show your life for to show your love for your wife. Secondly, love your wife as you love yourself. Yung sinabi dito, it means unconditional. Kanina po ang sabi ay, as Christ loved the church, it is sacrificial. And then secondly, love your wife as you love yourself, it means unconditional. We need to love our wife unconditionally. No one loves himself conditionally. Walang iibig sa kanyang sarili na mayroong kondisyon. So, from verse 29 up to verse 31, chapter 5, no one hates his body. Walang lalaki na mamumuhi sa kanyang sariling katawan, babae at lalaki. And anong gagawain? He feeds and cares for it. So, everyone, lahat tayo, hindi tayo mamumuhi, hindi tayo magagalit sa ating katawan, and pakainin natin to. Iingatan natin ito. And we consider our body, our partner as one flesh. So we love our own flesh. Yun po sinasabi rito. So, anong ibig sabihin? We should love our wife unconditionally. Abawi naman tayo. So whatever her size, whatever her weight, you need to love him. You need to love her more. Ang asawa ho, minamahal, inaalagaan, pinaglilingkuran, pinagluluto, pinapakain, pinapataba, pero hindi pinatitimbang at hindi binibenta. So, naglilingkod tayo. Naglilingkod tayo sa ating mga asawa. Bakit? She needs our love and our tender care. Ito yung gusto ng mga babae. Yung maramdaman nilang mahal natin sila. At maramdaman nila na meron tayong pag-iingat at pagmamahal sa kanila. Genesis chapter 2, verse 22, then the Lord God made a woman from the rib He had taken out of the man, and He brought her to the man. So, ang sabi po rito, nung likhain ng Diyos ang tao at likhain ang babae, pinatulog ng Diyos ang lalaki. And then, kinuha ang babae, hinubog ang babae mula, kumuha ang Diyos na isang rib, isang buto sa tadyang ang Diyos, and then, pagkuha nito, ginawa itong babae. So, remember that our partner, she was taken close to our heart. Yan po siya sabi ng talata, kinuha ang babae malapit sa ating puso to love her and to take care of her. Siya yung tao na hindi mo kaya mawala sa'yo. Yun yung wife natin. So, respect and honor her sa mga husband. Then, be faithful. Be faithful to your wife. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. Love your wife. Love her as your own flesh. Yun po sinabi ng Biblia. So, siya lang dapat ang BFF mo. Isa lang dapat ang SIM card mo. At alam dapat ng asawa mo yung password ng cellphone mo. So, we need to be faithful with our wife. And then, makita po natin doon yung kung gagawin natin ito sa ating mga asawa, well, definitely, if we will do our responsibility, there will be a harmonious relationship within the home. If the wife will submit to her husband, and then the husband will love his wife, and the children will obey their parents, definitely, God's blessing will be upon your home. So to honor and give them respect, Proverbs 31, verse 29 to 31. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the reward she has earned, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. So, salamat po. Salamat po sa aming mga nanay na nagbigay sa aming buhay. Salamat sa Nanay Aida na nag-ingat, nagpalaki sa akin, sa buong pamilya namin. Salamat po sa mga magulang na ito na siyang nagkaloob sa amin. So, aming Nanay Sonia, dalawa po yung aking biyanan Nanay Sonia, si Nanay Uding. So, pagpalain kayo ng Panginoon. And then sa lahat ng mga mother dito po sa Edmonton, pagpalain po kayo ng Panginoon. Let us give our respect and honor to our mother. Obey her instructions. Ulitin ko, do not be irritated with her long, redundant speech. Listen even in her silence. Kahit tahimik siya, makinig tayo. Maybe she's tired and planning the next meal. Kaya tahimik. Nag-iisip, ano naman kayang ulamin? Ano po? And then, reward her with words and deeds. Yan. Bilhin na ng bagyan ating mga nanay. So, let us honor our parents. Let us honor our mother. So, all the mothers there, Happy Mother's Day. God bless you all.